Kanda in Accra, live on our numerous affiliates across the country on 3FM 92.7 on Facebook and across all social media platforms. Coming up this morning, new report by Global Center for Pluralism and Center for Democratic Development (CDD) shows both NPP and NDC cannot win elections by relying solely on their ethnic basis.
If we look at strongly party support for the NDC and the NPP, most of them will hover around at most 47, but you need 50+1 to win elections.
We have details as the two parties remain dissatisfied over an IGP meeting over alleged insightful comments. Also, updates on labor agitation. Civil and Local Government Staff Association (CLOCSAG) breaks away from organized labor stance to participate in alternative domestic debt exchange program after a fresh proposal from the finance minister.
We've done our analysis on the proposal, and that satisfies our cash flow for the next 5 years.
Other groups, including the Trades Union Congress, remain resolute as they prepare for an emergency meeting on Thursday over the matter.
Workers will not accept that, and we think that the first MOU should remain untouched. Our original position still stands. Exempting our pension funds from this program is still intact. It has not changed.
And as Chief Justice Kwesi Niniabua retires in May, new names are popping up for a possible nomination by President Akufo-Addo. We'll hear some expectations of a new Chief Justice.
Unless the person is of high moral character, proven integrity, not less than 15 years standing as a lawyer.
And later, former Attorney General Nia Ikwe-Otu warns Gadangme Youth Association will continue to protest continuous abandonment of a large general hospital.
Issues is one of advocacy. We cannot compel anybody to do anything, but we can continue to demonstrate and pickets.
We have details of this and more. Thanks for joining us. Let's begin with some updates on the labor agitations because the Civil and Local Government Staff Association (CLOCSAG) has broken away from the organized labor stance to participate in government's alternative domestic debt exchange program after a fresh proposal from the finance minister. While organized labor has outrightly rejected the finance minister's overtures to consider using pension funds of workers in an alternative restructuring program with an emergency meeting scheduled for Thursday on the matter, CLOCSAG has taken a different view by agreeing to the offer. Here is Executive Secretary Isaac Bampuado.
We've done our analysis on the proposal, and that satisfies our cash flow for the next 5 years. So we are okay. That's the health pension of patient pension scheme. We are okay. We are also part of the but we, based on our cash flow needs, we are satisfied it's going to meet our cash flow needs. So we don't have a problem with the new proposals that have been brought up. It satisfies our cash flow.
You heard the Isaac Bampuado with CLOCSAG. Well, this position is in sharp contrast to that of the Trades Union Congress and many other labor groups. TUC is convening an emergency meeting on Thursday, but Deputy Secretary General Joshua Ansah says their stance remain unchanged.
If you think that it's still going to affect our pensions, I don't think it will be realistic for us to actually accept that new proposal. Our original position still stands. Organized labor is meeting to actually make its position known. Exempting our pension funds from this program is still intact. It does not change.
Deputy General Secretary of TUC Joshua Ansah will keep our eyes on that meeting, but labor experts are warning of an industrial chaos if government pushes ahead with its alternative debt restructuring program without the buy-in of all the labor groups. Listen to Austin Game.
If there are difficulties, inclusion is very important. Invite the owners. The approach they are using now, it is not good enough. Engaging people and having a conversation and talking about that issue is different from when you are instructing them that this is what I have an alternative for you. We don't do that when it comes to pension funds.
Austin Game is a labor analyst. Time now for some politics. Key findings in a survey conducted by the Global Center for Pluralism in partnership with the Center for Democratic Development (CDD) Ghana has revealed the opposition National Democratic Congress and the governing New Patriotic Party cannot win elections by solely relying on their ethnic support base. The report launched in Accra recommended the two parties develop a national appeal in order to win elections. There's more here.
The report shows the two main political parties in Ghana have never won elections only with their ethnic bases.
If you look at Tuangli party support for the NDC and the MPP, most of them will hover around between 44, 45, 46%. But you need 50 plus 1 to be able to win elections. So it means that political parties, especially the NDC and the MPP, will have to brand beyond just their core party voter support.
Executive Director of the Center for Democratic Development, CDD Ghana, Professor H. Kwesi Prempeh noted the monitoring assessment report is to measure progress in democracy, inclusive development, and other related state issues.
We have a strong hope and expectation that the reports that we launched today and subsequent reports in the same vein will help inform our policymakers in making sure that we have a diverse, socially cohesive society.
A report there. Meanwhile, the two parties remain dissatisfied over an IGP meeting with respect to some alleged insightful comments made by leading members of the NPP and the NDC, which is a subject of counter petitions before the police CID. The police says it had evaluated the said comments made by the NDC's flag bearer hopeful John Mahama and the former National Security Minister Brian Champon, and came to a conclusion they did not meet a threshold deemed criminal. While the parties commend the IGP for convening the meeting, they hold different views on the handling of the two petitions before the police. The NDC's of the view the police failed to carry out its mandate to invite a Greek minister, Brian Champon, for questioning over his alleged insightful comments. Away from that, Executive Director of Institute of Energy Security, Nana Mwesi VII, says the Minister of Energy and his deputy must be made to answer to the inability of a Tema Oil Refinery to refine fuel for the past 2 years. On Tuesday, workers of Tema Oil Refinery protested over a non-functional state of the oil refinery. However, Executive Director of IES, Nana Mwesi, said Ghanaians must blame leadership of the Energy Ministry for the lapses.
It's been 24 months. And it's still counted, and we've not had any indication from this unit that was put in place to negotiate. Maybe we need to put this question to the Energy Minister, his deputies, and assigned. You remember somewhere in October last year, Mr. Andre Japar, the Deputy Minister for Energy, did indicate clearly that by March, the refinery will be up and running. Many of this rhetoric has been received in time past, and it's still rhetoric. We've not seen any concrete action on the ground. And so it's still a question of leadership.
Executive Director of Institute of Energy Security, Nana Mwesi VII. Now, Chief Justice Kwesi Neniabwa will be retiring from his role as Chief Justice on May 24 as he hits his retirement age. In accordance with Article 144, Clause 1 of the 1992 Constitution, the President must appoint a new Chief Justice in consultation with the Council of State. 3 news sources say Supreme Court Judge Justice Gertrude Tokonu is leading a pack of justices in pole position to be appointed. While the President readies himself to make that announcement, there are expectations of a new CJ. Here is private legal practitioner Ni Komla Adom, who says any appointment must strictly be based on merit.
The Chief Justice is first and foremost the head of the judiciary. That's an administrative role, but he or she is also a justice of the Supreme Court. And so the person must qualify, you understand, to sit as a justice of the Supreme Court. And if you look at Article 1284, it says that a person shall not be qualified for appointments as a justice of the Supreme Court unless the person is 1, of high moral character, 2, proven integrity, and 3, not less than 15 years standing as a lawyer.
Private legal practitioner Ni Komla Adom there. In a related development, judgments on the JB Dankwa Meda case is likely to further delay after a revelation from the judge, Her Ladyship Lydia Osei Mafo. The jury had not been paid their allowances since March 2022. She was delivering a judgment on a mini trial after putting on hold the substantive trial. But speaking on Ghana Tonight on TV3, private legal practitioner who is unhappy with the development says until the issue is resolved, the trial cannot continue. Here's Martin Kwebu.
It is the case that in a jury trial, these jurors are the judges, the ultimate judges. They will decide whether the accused person is guilty or not. You see, so they are judges when it comes to the ultimate. And so in their absence, the trial cannot go on.
private legal practitioner Martin Kpebu. Let's head to lab because the former Attorney General and President of the Gadangme Youth Association, Nia Ayikwe Otu, says the group will continue to mount series of protests against government for the continuous lack of willingness to redevelop the demolished La General Hospital. The group yesterday gave government a 2-week ultimatum to respond favorably to their demand after a mammoth protest.
The Gandangme youth say enough is enough.
Long overdue, certain things that were promises in terms of the demolition of the La General Hospital, which was demolished. I mean, it was done without recourse to it being built within the shortest possible time. And our people from La are facing a lot of challenge.
The 2-year timeline for completion of work on the project has long elapsed, yet the facility is yet to get off the ground. The demolished La General Hospital was intended to provide better and advanced health care for residents and those within the enclave. But in the time it has been raised down to ground zero, residents have since been left without a choice but to travel to 37 or Lekma for basic health care.
I'm a taxi driver. Now I have to take patients round, and sometimes they die.
You heard the report by Sarah Apenkrowa. We can now hear from Ni Ayikwe Otu, who says they will continue to mount pressure on government to fix the facility.
We see that the Agenda 11 projects are ongoing, so why demolish a healthy institution which was performing and then promise that you're going to rebuild it, only to abandon it? And the people are angry because it doesn't make sense to them.
Nia Ayikwe Otu there, he is chairman of the Gadangme Youth Association. Ending our bulletin this morning. If you log on to 3news.com, you find a lot more stories there. I am Komla Adom.